Hi Sequels friends! It is a new month and you know what that means. It is time for yet another sales video. So that is what we're going to talk about this week. Now when researching for this week's sales video, I realized, oh crap, I never post a what sold video for the month of August. So today's video, I'm going to share with you what sold for a part-time reseller on Poshmark and eBay for both the months of July and August. As per usual, we will talk about the best of and the worst of items, as well as giving you a breakdown of what sold per category. And most importantly, how much did I gross and how much did I net? So if you want to get down into all of the nitty-gritty deep dive analysis, then you will definitely want to keep on watching. Hi Sequels friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Heather and I am a part-time reseller on both Poshmark and eBay app, and I use this YouTube channel to document my journey. So if you're interested in learning more about how to sell on either of those platforms, reselling in general, thrifting, and even a few fun thrifty flips, then you will definitely want to go ahead and subscribe to my channel, ring that bell, and you will be notified every time I upload a new video. If you enjoyed this video and you find it useful, as always, please do go ahead, hit that thumbs up button, as your thumbs up let me know what kind of content to create for you in the future. So as I said in the intro, we will be doing a what sold video, but the difference this month is that I'm going to talk about what sold for both July and August, as looking back, it does not look like I ever filmed a July what sold video. So we're getting a little combo here. I'm going to go ahead and start out with July, and I'm going to start out by giving you the gross versus net numbers. We'll start to break down by the platform, and then this time I'm just going to give you the best couple of items and the worst couple of items, rather than going through too many, since I'm talking about 2 months this video instead of just one. So jumping right in, for the month of July, I have to tell you, I cannot lie, I am so pleased with the month of July. I ended up making a net profit of $740.98. So that is getting much closer to my holiday sales number and was definitely an increase from June, which I only made about $650. So that comes out to a 14% increase. Definitely loving the direction that my sales are headed in. Overall, I sold approximately the same number of units. It was 49 for July versus the 52 in June. And for those of you who have been following me, you know I have been pushing to get that average sale price up. In July, I achieved reaching closer to my goal, as the average sale price per item was $15.12 versus June's $12.48. That is a 21% increase. I am so excited. As you guys who watch know, I am always trying to get at least a net return of 20 bucks per item. I am not there yet, but I'm getting closer, so we're going in the right direction. The best categories for the month of July were accessories, home goods, shoes, and tops. I will go ahead and put my handy dandy chart right up here that shows you all the categories that I sold for the month, along with the total number of dollar net sales, the percentage of sales per category, and the percentage of units per category. This is a little bit different from the month of June. Shoes, tops have been jamming for months. They are two of my best selling categories. But this month, accessories and home goods took over bags and dresses from last month. And I think the reasoning for that is I had that thread up scarf box come through, so that increased my accessories category. And I had a bulk home goods box that I put on recently, and that took up or that increased my home goods category. The best categories that made the most money were shoes and home goods. And if you look at that chart, you will notice, for example, let's talk home. Home, I made about $160, and it made up almost 22% of the sales on just 12% of the units. So that means that that is a high average dollar category. So that is a category I will want to continue to go after as I sell less units and make more money, which means less work and more money in my pocket. What more could I ask for? Shoes, you'll see I'm making about 24% of the dollars on 16% of the units. They are two super easy categories to list, photograph, and now they make even more money than the other categories. So, needless to say, sourcing more shoes and home goods. To confirm, since we did talk about my goal being at least to get an average out the door net price of 20 bucks per item. Out of the 49 items that I sold for the month of July, I accomplished that goal on 12 of them. I will pop a picture right here of the item, and in no particular order, these were some of the best of. This crossbody leather bag, I got this in a Goodwill blue box, and I ended up selling this for $38.24 and netted in my pocket $30.12. I was not familiar with the brand, definitely something I would pick up in the wild if I saw it. If you watched my bulk recap update, you will recognize a few of these items. If you haven't, I will certainly link it above so that you can check it out. But the next two items are items from that bulk home goods box, and they netted me well over my $20 goal. The first one is this deck mode farmhouse sconce. I sold this for $63.72, and in my pocket went $47.50. Love it. Next up, the Bid-Inform quilted heated mattress pad. Again, I made $63.13 on this item, and in my pocket went $40.72. Both of those bulk items, both of those were some of the higher priced items that I got in that bulk box, and pleased with the outcome on both of them. Let's see here. This one is a very interesting item. It is Wear It to Heart leggings, a brand I was not familiar with. I do believe I got this in a thread up box if I remember it correctly. I had it listed for a couple of months. No hits on it, no anything. When I went to relist it, I did a little bit more research, figured out that this is a brand that is sold through Peloton, and with all the Peloton craze going on, I was sure to go ahead and put that in my renewed listing. So I renewed this on July 5th, and it sold within just a few days of that renewing for $48.70, and I ended up netting a profit of $42.78. So, two good reminders in that. Always relist items and check your comps, do a little bit of research when you do relist them to see if anything in that listing needs to change, as that was the key to moving that item. The last two items were both pairs of shoes. Both came in my last thread up shoe haul. I do not believe I filmed that one for you. Two of the items that did sell were these Tory Burch flip-flops, which I ended up selling for $55.11 and took home $45.14. And then next up were these, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, Monsieur Gravé block heel slides. Super cute, love these. Very high quality brand, made in Italy. Sold these for $68.99 and netted $55.11 in my pocket. So this month had some clear winners, definitely hitting those retail sales that I need to be focusing a little bit more on, as I have had some very low end things as I'm learning more and more about what moves and what doesn't. So let's talk about the stinkers. For the month of July, the biggest stinkers were Gemma point-toed heel pumps. I do believe these were from a bulk shoe box that I got of unexpected returns from Target. I knew based on the Target retail I was not going to get much for these, but I did want to put them on just to try to recoup my cost. And I did recoup my cost. I ended up selling these for $14 and making a net profit of $5.26. So definitely not something I would source again in the future. And it would be on that borderline of, should I have even listed it for the $5 or should I have just donated or passed it along? That's a thing I'm still trying to figure out. If you have suggestions or input or things that help you make that ideas that help you to make that decision, please list them below. I know that I, as well as I'm sure many other people, would love to know how you calculate that a little bit better to see if it's worth your time and effort. I had two tops that were stinkers. One was this Liz and Me top, sold it for $7. This is a clearance item. I am clearing through all these lower end items that are in my closet that were either gifted to me or I sourced before I knew this was gifted to me. I sold it for $7, made $4.05. Definitely not something I would do again. And then this Sport Tech Gulfstream Goofy Bedazzled jersey that I believe, I think I did a video on this one, but it was from a Goodwill, I think it was in the Goodwill blue box, because I remember talking about whether or not I was going to list it, and I did, and it sold for $9.99 and I made $3.74. So again, nothing I would resource, and it becomes questionable based on the time it takes to photograph and create a listing if it was worthwhile to do it at all. Quick by platform for the month of July, pretty similar to the month of June. 70% of my sales were on eBay. I did have a Facebook sale, which I haven't been doing up until this point, but I did have one of those, so that's awesome. Nothing on Mercari, nothing on YouTube this month, but I did have 28% of my sales on Poshmark, which is a slight increase over the 25% it has been. My goal is to hopefully get more into that 30-40% of my sales, probably more realistic of 30% of my sales to be on Poshmark and 70 on eBay. And the only reason why I want to increase those Poshmark sales is to justify the time and effort I'm putting into that platform, which it is more, and you can see it makes less. But if it makes extra than what I would on eBay, then it's still worth it. Let's move on over into August. August, I gotta tell you folks, August, there is no nice way of saying it besides it was a completely shitty month. It sucked. It's one of the lowest, I think it's one of the lowest sales month I've had since I really started getting into this. I officially started, I'd been selling for a few months out of my closet and friends things, but I officially started sourcing specifically for Poshmark last August. Oh man, it's been a year. I should do some yearly recap. If you're interested in seeing a yearly recap for a part-time reseller, let me know below. I don't know, that might be fun. But anyways, the last time I sold this few units was in August of last year. But again, that was my starting month, the first time I even sourced anything. I haven't made sales this low since then. So that's what we're working with for August. I would love, love, love to know from you if your August sales took a dive, because I'm still, you'll see as I talk through this, that I'm still trying to figure out the exact reasoning why. So let's talk about the numbers. Overall, August sales came in at a total net profit of $287.23. I don't think I've made anything lower than $450 or $500 in the last 6 months to a year. So that was a 60% decrease, and this is very disappointing. I did sell a decent amount of units. It was definitely less than normal. I sold 33 units versus the 49 I sold previously in July. That is a 30% decrease. So I did 30% less unit sales, but I did 60% less dollar sales. Okay, it gets worse. The average sales price. Okay, so I just cheered for myself not a few minutes ago about how pleased I was with the turnout of July's average sale price of $15.12. Well, for August, it took a nosedive to $8.70. I don't know if I think I've only been this low one other time when I marked down all that old stuff to put on clearance. Okay, typically I have a ROI, return on my investment, of at about 65 to 70%. So if I made $1,000, then I would normally take home in my pocket $650 to $700. This month it was only 60%. So a 5 to 10% lower ROI, so less money in my pocket. I had no sales over 20 bucks. So I have no sales, no items to put up here, nothing to show you that was over 20 bucks. Let's talk about the 3 worst items. These Old Navy Oxblood zip ankle boots. This is very similar to the worst items that I talked about for July. Came in a thread up box, They're Old Navy. I knew based on the retail I was not going to get any money for them. Put them online anyways to see if I could recoup my cost, and that's basically all I did. I sold them for $9 and ended up netting 5 cents. The cost of goods were $6 and I made $6.05. So definitely would not have wasted time listing those, I don't think, even to recoup the cost. Would have sent those on over to Goodwill. The other stinker was from a Goodwill box. This is a new with tags Lily Star flannel miniskirt. It is again, a lower price pointed everyday out the door regular retail. It's quite low. I ended up taking an offer of $8, which means that I made 93 cents after cost of goods. Definitely another item that I probably shouldn't have wasted time listing to try to even recoup the cost, and probably should have just given it to Goodwill. And this last item is a bad purchase from me. This was one of my first outings when I actually started thrifting for Poshmark instead of selling out of my closet or my friends' closets. This was a Banana Republic fringe, kind of like a sweater vest or sleeveless sweater. I thought it was super cute, but I bought it at Goodwill, and I bought it at Goodwill for regular price. So, not something I would do now. I don't always pick up banana, and if I do pick it up, it would only be out of the bins. So I ended up, because I've had this for a full year, I said whatever offer is given to me, I'll take it. It's $2, it's yours. I don't care, take it away. So I ended up selling this for $7, which means after the $3.99 that I spent on the cost of goods, I only made 99 cents. So the 3 worst items were really bad. Everything else that sold was still all under 20 bucks. Not too exciting. The categories that you would expect to see at top are at the top. Bags, shoes, and tops still made the most money. And with bags having the better return on my investment, in that I made more money on less units over there. My question starts to become, why? What's going on? I don't know. So my shares are down. I looked at the shares, and the shares are down 10%. So you'd expect you could have at least a 10% decrease based on that. I did lose a few of my new listing notes that I keep. So I'm gonna have to see if I can go back and find those to calculate an exact percentage, but I do know that my listings were down significantly. As soon as I got into week 2 and realized that I wasn't making any money, I was reluctant to spend any money, and my death pile has been clear for probably the last 2 months. So I didn't buy anything else, I didn't have anything else, so I didn't list anything else. Very bad move, but that's where we are. And my cost of goods on this bundle that sold this month just happened to be slightly higher. There are also several items in this category that sold that were items I didn't even know that if they were worth listing, which they may not have been. But given that their cost of goods were so close to what I could probably net on them, so that did me wrong. And also, to be honest with you, I think it's because it's August. August last year was my crappiest. Most retailers that I've worked for, August is always the worst month unless you are a vacation destination, a tourist destination, or a supplier of items for back to school. So I'm hoping that this isn't a trend as to where my sales are going, but is specific to the month of August. So before I close this, let's just talk real quick about the sales per platform. My sales on eBay did decrease to 68%, and my sales on Poshmark increased to 33%. So that is pretty different from the month prior, and I saw a decrease in eBay and an increase in Poshmark. Well, also, I have a higher return of investment on eBay and a lower return of investment on Poshmark. So it stands to reason I was making more or less money and not making the high dollar, the ones I get higher return on. So I think the way the platforms balanced that had something to do with it as well. But overall, what I really want to focus on is, as of right now, I'm going to assume that August is a really shitty month in general. I'm going to say unless September seems to be horrible, which so far it's going as normal. So I'm going to assume that August is a really shitty month. It's just hard to sell stuff in August. So I think the goal for next year would be to be sure that I'm sharing the to my goal, be sure I'm relisting to my goal, and be sure I'm listing new items to my goal, because we know sales are harder to get in August, so I need to make sure that I hit all my goals in August. On top of that, it would most likely be worthwhile to run a sale for the month of August or put in extra effort to list more than the normal goal. Only because that month, if it is just the way that consumerism is for that month, then I need to do extra in that month to try to keep my sales closer to where they would normally be. My goals for September will be a little bit different from what my next year August goals would be. They will go back to being what my normal goals are, which is to renew 3 old items every day on Poshmark and eBay, list 3 new items every day on Poshmark and eBay, and attempt in my damnedest to share at least 3 times on Poshmark every day. So I'm going to continue with those goals that I've been trying to reach towards for the last couple of months. In addition to that, for September, what I would like to focus on is getting ahead on my inventory. So I don't keep a death pile. My office is too small and it gets cluttered too easy to have a lot of things around. So I've worked really hard on not keeping a death pile. But in doing that, I'm not always very far out on how many items I've already photographed and have gotten ready for online. So in August, when my sales took a nosedive, I stopped spending money, which means I ran out of items to list, and I did not go out and buy any more items because I didn't know whether any more money was going to come in. I have money to spend, but I like a big cushion. So I just figured no money's coming in, I'm not going to have any money going out. In doing that, I listed less items. I don't think that was the full contribution, but it was a contributing factor to the lower sales. So I want to continue to list. I don't want to have a huge death pile. So I think what I need to do is start sourcing further out. So I feel like I need to have at least 20 to 30 items that maybe I already have photographed and cropped and edited and have ready to list sitting in my computer at all times. So I may be through all my death piles and I may have 60 items to list, but if I have 60 items to list in my head, I need to think, Heather, you only have 30, you need to go out and thrift 30 more items so that you can always have this 20 to 30 unit buffer. That will ensure if I don't feel good and I don't go out thrifting, if I can't get my hands on any boxes or anything, if I don't have any money coming in, if emergency happens and I steal from my money for other things, it means if any of those things happen, I'll still already have some backup. I think that would be a good goal for September to work towards, especially going into holiday, because I don't want to feel like I ever miss out on sales because my fault, I have no inventory. Got to keep the inventory rolling, we know on these platforms you got to list something new every day. It is the number one thing to see any activity. So that is a huge goal. My second goal is to try to work on a thrift schedule and be more conscious of it. So I usually go thrifting at least once a week. I need to stay on that schedule of making sure I'm continuing to thrift at least once or twice a week. I also want to be more cognizant about the things I'm thrifting online. So I just thrift online when I don't make it to the thrift store, or the last time I went to the thrift store I didn't have much good stuff. I'm not thinking about it as consciously as I probably should. And I know that I saw a big increase in my accessories because of that ThredUp box. I've seen a big increase in home sales because of those bulk boxes. And I think I need to be conscious that I'm flowing those regularly. So as always, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, for all of your subscriptions, your likes, and your comments. They mean so much to me. I really, really appreciate it. And I want to let you know to have a great week, and I will go ahead and see you on Friday.